Hi all, you're aware that I play video games, but I'd like to show you a more cerebral aspect of video gaming. This is Space Engineers, a game I play that allows the player to design, build, test their ships and stations, ground vehicles, and machinery that they use to build them. The whole game hinges on thinking and designing and creating these elements. As you can see here, we're on a oxygen-rich, green, lush world, and ahead of us is a ship that I've designed. I've called it the Gemini for obvious reasons. It's equipped with atmospheric thrusters, hydrogen thrusters, and a degree of other gyroscopes and internal storage. It's been built block by block, piece by piece, with all the various requirements. You'll notice it tells me that I'm out of power the moment I jump into it, because the batteries are set to recharge. So all these different subsystems that the player has to implement inside their design to make it function have to be toggled on off through scripting languages and programming C# interfaces, or through a simple series of binding keys to functions. So this whole ship and to the station where we're going to be flying has been designed with a purpose and to fit a function. So a lot of the time we spend on a server, we design our ships or our new mechanisms for drilling ice and out of planets or materials. We'll build them by hand. In gravity is more difficult, usually requiring a series of girders and lifts and pulleys to try and get materials where they need to go, or in space. Building in space is fantastic with zero-G. Testing that we then have achieved what we wanted to, ultimately ending with us destroying something, usually by accident. Someone forgets to turn off the wrong piston. So as you can see, we're flying in space. I'm going to cut the journey short. Space is a long, long haul, so we'll skip straight ahead to the approach to the station. A lot of you know my game servers are called Utopia Gaming, so we'll be approaching Utopia Station now. The game was designed by Keen Software House, based in Prague. They're absolute geniuses in my mind, adopting a practically open source model, providing their code out to players to use to make even more in-depth mods and components and feature sets of their game, then shared out and allowed people to download only the components they want, the features, the functions, into their game. So it's fully moddable, very well supported amongst the community by what has become a very well respected development company, who've also branched off to create their own second firm, which works around artificial intelligence, as it happens, so something to keep our eyes on. The way the game works here, everything has requirements for power, for materials. If you're processing materials, oxygen comes from ice. You break down ice into hydrogen and oxygen, and we have our fuel and our ability to breathe. So all doors are airlocked. I'm playing and showing this game in creative mode, so this is why I haven't suffocated by leaving it, or died through explosive decompression by leaving all the doors open. But this part's a bit mind-bending. Using gravity generators placed in different locations, I'm allowed to warp the verticality of the station. So we're now actually walking along the long cylindrical section through the cryo chambers, areas where players can, when they want to log out of the game, store their player in cryostasis and disconnect. Every station needs a control center, so as we go upstairs now into the control station, this is where we can monitor all the systems. We have gravity generators up here as well, main control panels and storage, and a main airlock for large docking ships that can't land in the landing bay that we have down below. As soon as we leave gravity, our jetpack kicks in and out we go. As you can see the planet down below us where we just flew from. So the great thing about this game is that it's fully deformable voxel environment. So this station has been built and designed through a series of blocks. I'm sure you can see the grid of how everything is laid out, but they all have to be placed with a function and design in mind. Every door is placed with the correct rotation so that it's not side on top of the fact that a lot of this components within the station are scripted. There's solar panels that have rotating arms that rotate depending on the relative position of the sun. There's systems that switch batteries to recharge when power levels reach certain minimums. And now we're going to take a dive down to the very bowels of the station. Down here, where gravity leaves us and our jetpack kicks in, it's very dark. We find all the tanks and conveyors that store oxygen and hydrogen for the station to use. Further along we can see more gyroscopes which allow the station to keep its rotation, firing engines to make sure it doesn't deorbit into the planet, more storage containers, and the all-important nuclear reactor running off refined uranium. There we have it. So this is just an idea to show you guys that gaming's not just about hacking zombies out. It's not just about shooting wave after wave of bad guys. There's thinking involved, and some of the games that I like to play and that I'm involved in running servers with and designing mods for are more based around getting the player to think about what they need to do and how to achieve it. And I think that's quite a good way of playing games.